supposed to be the best at what we do at this level. Supposed to have the knowledge, the patience, the capability to drive race cars really fast and be very competitive without completely destroying race cars. Doesn't always work out that way, and you know, we certainly have lapses in judgment as being human, but you know, even the 500, I don't think that was our regulars that ended up, you know, really kind of starting off that chain reaction. So I think that's a lot of it. You know, I think that we've learned a lot with these cars as well. Have certainly, since last year, got them driving a lot better, to where they're more predictable from behind the wheel. They're a little easier to catch in big moments. We have a better understanding where we can push, how hard, and in what scenarios. And there's a learning curve to it, and I think we've gotten through that. But I would say a lot of it is an experience thing and understanding thing. But I'm going to say all that right now, and then somebody is going to completely make me look like an idiot tomorrow. But I hope that's not the case. I do think we're capable of having very good races down to the closing laps of these things. And I plan on that being the case tomorrow. But you know, we're steadily figuring out the new car, and I think we're doing well as a group, as a series, to try and be a little cleaner.
Brad put a lot of emphasis on the 1-2 finish in Daytona. Has preparation this week changed after it was mission accomplished down there?
No. You know, this has been something that we recognized we didn't do very well together last season, and realized we had fast race cars, one or the other, and didn't do a good enough job at finding each other and making a show out of that. And we've worked very hard this year together. We put a lot of emphasis and a lot of studying into these events to make sure that when we are in a situation like we were in Daytona there at the end, we're ready for it, that we thought about that, and that hasn't changed because of can't say, oh, we had it figured out there, we're done, we don't need to think about it again, we'll remember. It's the same, diving into it, looking at what happened there, looking at this race from the last time we were in Talladega, playing out scenarios in our heads, talking it through with spotters, with crew chiefs, with our entire teams. There's a lot that goes into these things. Obviously, our pit strategy and pit road is a massive part of how these races play out as well. So yeah, a lot of time and a lot of studying goes into this one, just like it did to Daytona, and we plan on it yielding the same results. I love doing it about 5 times a year. I don't know if anyone's listening, since we haven't put that schedule out yet. About 5 is good, but you know, for me, the Roval, in the basic principle of it, I truly appreciate for our fans to sit in the grandstand at Charlotte Motor Speedway and be able to see 98% of a road course track. That's fantastic, right? You don't get that at any other road course. And in a lot of ways, I think that's great. There's some things about other road courses that I think really drive people to certain areas, right? You have your people in the bus stop, you have your campers down in the carousel, wherever it may be, and I think that for different reasons, the Roval did a very nice job at giving our fans a great view of a course, and not leaving you wondering what happened the previous lap 3.5 miles back, and so I can love that. For us going into it, like I said, road course racing has been very good for us. The Roval's been good to us. Have been very competitive there, so certainly optimistic heading into it, and feel like that's one that you know, we feel is a good opportunity ahead of us, just like here tomorrow. So I'm excited for that one. I definitely feel like that's a pretty good shot for us.
So you get through to the round of 8, right? Mm-hmm. We kick off at Las Vegas. Intermediate tracks, what the hell, Chris Buescher?
Yeah, I guess we don't have a win on the intermediate track this year, so chop. Texas was going a lot better than that, so I would say we've had very competitive cars. One thing about Vegas, very specifically, is just it's been so long since we've been there, and it's always that way. We've learned a lot since then, and I know we'll be a lot better than we were at the first Vegas. A lot more similar to what we were able to do in Texas, what we were able to do in Michigan. We will have better opportunities for us there. So, into the round of 8, and you look at that one, and Martinsville, and even Homestead. The places that I love as racetracks, and I'm excited to go to. We've talked a lot about it really since probably our media day heading into the playoffs. I don't feel like we are put in a box of one style of racetrack or two styles of racetracks that are strong for us. We have great race cars at all these places, and from a mindset of Chris Buescher, that's awesome. That gives me a lot of confidence heading in. Gives me a lot of optimism that we're going to be better in places that haven't statistically been the best for me.
You just talked about the intermediate tracks kind of being your Achilles heel. That's why I was like, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like super speedways have been for a while. It's got to figure out how to close the deal. Not that we haven't been in contention through them to some extent, but certainly need to close the deal. And Texas, I guess it's fresh on my mind, and into the race was just messy, and lots of resorts felt very much like that truck race this evening. So if that doesn't happen, I think we'd be talking very differently. Would it have been a race win? It would have been tough. There's some very strong cars there, but certainly would have been something that's highlight worthy for us on mile and a half especially.
You just gave a great sales pitch a minute ago for the Roval, but of course next week could be the final race on the Roval. What do you want to see? Which layout for the fall Charlotte race?
So, like I said, I can appreciate the principle. From behind the wheel, I enjoy doing 5 or 6 road races a year, but I do think it's important not to oversaturate that market or that style of racetrack for us. In the Charlotte Oval has put on some really good racing. It's really widened out. It's got a lot of character to it, and in a lot of ways I've really come to like that place. It's more similar to like a Kansas or not quite the old Atlanta, but the kind of mile and a half that I like. So I can probably lean a little bit more towards the Oval, and I guess just having gotten into the weeds about the Roval itself, it's been worked on, and they've made tweaks there to make it better, but it's not the easiest track to race, and doesn't give you the best opportunities to really move through the field. On top of feeling like we've needed to improve our short track road course racing product as a sport. You add that on top of that, and I think it's made it tough going to the Roval and getting really good racing. We've had decent racing, but getting really good racing there.